These fans have been diligently waiting to be able to get in the doors here.
Thank you. It's 8 o'clock at night. I have never done a Q&A this late, right? It's a little late.
We're burning the midnight oil here in Utah, for sure.
Clearly. I already went out and had dinner and
Maybe
a couple glasses of Prosecco.
Right?
But that's okay, right? Here we are.
You have to be able to relax a little bit. I mean, you know, it can be intimidating with all the lights and all the adoring fans.
I have to say, Whoa, there's an echo.
Yeah.
Should I hold it down for
It's like you're in the Grand Canyon.
The person who gave me this today, are you here? Thank you.
Right there.
I love my tote. I love it. I really love it. Thank you so much.
Is this an everyday occurrence for you, Amy Jo? I mean, when you were in the airport...
Like this? No, it is not. This is a fantastic
here's some
tote.
gifts.
I'm like a real tote person too. Like, I don't know. There's something, I love it. Thank you. I'm really happy with it.
No, that's exciting. Can I see it? Do you mind if I see it?
It's so fantastic.
Oh my gosh, you got all the Rangers right here.
It's great.
I love it.
Thank you so. What's your name again? Big Nick. Thank you, Big Nick.
Make sure you say that slowly and accurately. Big Nick.
Oh my.
You're the best. Nick, you're the best.
This is nice. Thank you. I really love it.
So, but would you encounter a lot of fans when you have, I mean, obviously, it's been a long time since you've been on TV and film, right? And you go to a lot of places.
Well, yeah. Well, so the last TV series I did, well, that's not true. The last, like series I did, where I was a series regular, was Flashpoint, which I...
We got some Flashpoint fans out here.
Nice. So that brought me to Toronto, and that's where I live now, and I absolutely love it there. And I've become a Canadian citizen as well.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. So it laid that much of an impression on you, you're like, you know what, I gotta stick around here.
Can I ask you guys a question? Is it echoing for you as much as it is for me?
Yeah.
Can we turn the echo down a little bit?
It makes it sound that much more authoritative, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
The powerful Oz.
See, that's what it is. So you're there in Toronto, you're doing Flashpoint.
Yeah.
What was it about that experience that made you want to really develop roots in that area?
Well, I had left Los Angeles when I turned 35, and I moved my entire life and everything to Montreal, which I didn't know a soul there. And I just decided that I was done with Los Angeles. I thought I was done with acting. And I moved to Montreal to sort of decompress.
Can I ask you where in Montreal you lived? I used to live in Montreal.
I lived in the Plateau.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
went there to just sort of unravel a little bit. Everybody goes through that time in their life. And then I got a call to do Flashpoint, an audition for a show in Toronto, but at the time, I really didn't think I wanted to act anymore. And so, after they called a few times, and I found out actually at the time that I was pregnant, I was like, tell them I'm pregnant. They're not gonna want me. And they were like, no, it's fine. So I went and I was like, all right, maybe it's Kismet. So I got Flashpoint, and the entire first season of Flashpoint I was pregnant, which was crazy. Anyway, so then
that's a whole other level of acting when you're working.
I played a sniper. It was the most hardcore role I'd ever played in my entire life. I was unraveling in my life anyway. I didn't feel like a really confident person. And this part on Flashpoint that I did for 5 years, one, having a baby, I think, grounded me, and then second, playing this role of this really strong woman who's this sniper with these other guys on this team. Something about those 5 years grounded me. And within those 5 years, I realized that I actually wanted to write and direct and make my own films.
So that was the moment you really started making the transition from acting to directing.
Yeah. And also being in Toronto, I find it very nurturing and it's a great city for emerging filmmakers, and there's a lot of ways to tap into different grants and different ways to get money to make films. And so my first feature film, The Space Between, came out last summer. Was anybody here that was a part of that campaign?
I did an
Indiegogo campaign, and I had I mean, that's the thing, doing Power Rangers 20 years ago, 25? 25 years ago.
It sneaks up on you.
It was like one of the biggest blessings for me because it created this support system and these people, these really loyal people who have followed my career through all the different years, all the way into the transition into filmmaking. And so it's really great. And so half of the money raised to do my first feature was through crowdfunding. And so it was people who had supported my career that helped me make the movie, which is really cool.
Now, did that surprise you at all that you had, obviously you did Power Rangers, and the success of the show you could feel from working on the show at some point, clearly. But then when it starts to kind of take, obviously, your time away from the show and you move into other adventures, other shows. And
I actually didn't feel the success of the show at the time, 25 years ago.
You didn't feel it. I mean, it was, I mean, for me, I mean, we were actually just talking backstage, there have been generations of Power Rangers and you were mine. I remember going and watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was my first experience watching the Power Rangers.
Well, it was the first season, so yeah. I think, for me, it was my first acting job. It was the first, I just showed up to Los Angeles, and yes, when it aired, it was quite popular, but it was a kids show, and we were wearing, you know, spandex on national television, and it was like, you know, I went there to try and become Julia Roberts, and here I am on spandex on national television. A little
divergent. Right. Yeah, often on a certain path. Okay.
Yeah, but then in the last, I feel like in the last 5 years, really, as I've transitioned into this other career path, that I've realized the impact that that show had on so many kids that are now adults, that are you guys seeing. It's really cool. Like when we were in it and doing it, I had no idea.
So it's taken
25 years later, I could be sitting on stage talking to you guys about my first acting job I ever had.
That's crazy, and what a first job it has been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really took like a 20-year kind of waiting period before fans like all of us here, before we kind of started to emerge and kind of have moments like this.
Well, I think you guys were always there. It took me 20 years to stop acting and stop doing whatever, like just to take a peek at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to actually it was when I started to do the crowdfunding for the films that I wanted to make, and I saw how much these people were embracing me that were fans of Power Rangers from 20 years ago. So it was 5 years ago for me that I opened up to see like, oh my God, this show really impacted a lot of people. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. How does that feel now? Does that change your perspective looking back on that role, that you've seen what it's blossomed to become?
Does it change my perspective? Sure, yeah. Like I had no idea that I was being a positive influence on so many girls and boys, and I was, honestly, for me, you guys, it was my college, and I was just kind of partying my ass off the whole time. And I was having a lot of fun. I had absolutely no idea that I was affecting these kids that were like looking up to me. I had no idea.
Yeah. But it got your feet wet, obviously. You got a taste for what it's like to be working as an actress in Los Angeles, doing television, and what it's like to just be on the job, on the lot.
Yeah, it was a big learning curve. I think anybody to be on a set and learn to hit a mark or respect of the crew, and just like finding your place within the whole machine, because making a movie or TV is like this giant, well-oiled machine, and everybody has a job and everybody needs to do their job well. And the actor is really just one little spot of it.
Yeah. And now that you're kind of transitioned into like one of the most key spots for the process, which is directing and writing, because you're kind of a writer-director, they kind of go hand in hand. What is it about that experience that you find more kind of your groove with that than it is with being up in front of on screen?
Oh, honestly, since I've sort of put acting over here, I feel like I can just take a big, deep breath and go, and exhale. And I'm just like, oh, now I just want to write and I just want to direct. And so I'm gearing up to shoot my second feature film, which is called Tammy's Always Dying. And it's this beautiful, sad, tragic comedy that I did not write. I didn't write this one, but I'm directing it. And
right.
so
you're making the changes, you're kind of making sure it fits and all that.
Yeah, and getting the team, and I just found my DP that I want to work with, the cinematographer, and I find like the director is, you know, it's Joanne's story, and now it's my responsibility to tell the story properly. And I just love it.
Can you give us a little taste of what the storyline's going to be for this movie?
Sure. Now remember, it's a comedy, but it's about this woman who threatens to jump off a bridge once a month to keep her daughter tethered to the small town that they live in. And she's this sort of non-functioning alcoholic who halfway through the movie gets diagnosed with cancer, but then realizes that
any comedy, of course, the natural formula for a comedy, right?
She realizes that
suicide, alcoholism, sure.
So then she realizes that she doesn't want to die, and it's really Kathy's story, the daughter's story, and her finding. It's a movie about letting go, and for Kathy, finding the courage to create her own path, because there's, you know, the codependent relationship can be so what's the word?
Taxing.
Well, paralyzing in a way as well, right? Like yeah. And so anyway, the comedy part.
I'm still waiting for the comedy part. I'd love to get to the comedy part.
I think it comes from the dynamic and the humor between the relationship. And honestly, like, I was attracted to the story. We'll get to the questions quickly so we can talk about Power Rangers really soon, I promise. Let me just finish a little bit about myself. I was attracted to this story because my father is an alcoholic, and for me, he's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and that my relationship with him and just knowing him, and my mother passed away of cancer, and just finding the absurdity and the humor within some of the hardest moments in life, I think, is the key to getting through anything. And those are the stories I'm interested in telling, and those are the movies I want to make, are movies where you take the pain, but you find the levity and the humor within.
Well, it's something we all have to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's life, man. You gotta be able to freaking laugh sometimes, even when it sucks, right?
That's the best way to get through it. And then when you look back on life, and I'm sure with the situation with your parents, with your dad or your mom, looking back on that, I'm sure, like with me, like my father passed away a number of years ago, and we look back and tell all the funny things that Dad would say all the time. Now there's a lot of pain there because he was sick for a long time and then passed away after that. But it's all the funny things he would do and say. Kind of like as you were talking about your dad was just so funny. I mean, that's the way I like to think back and look at him, and so I can relate to the film and how that kind of the same emotions that you have.
And I think, you know, my mom was sick for 10 months. It was really short and very fast. But in our house and during that time, with my sister and my brother and my dad and my mom, there was a lot of tears, but there was a lot of laughter as well. And the laughter really came from a lot of the absurd moments in just freaking life, right? So, anyway, there's that. Now let's talk about Power Rangers.
It's just trying to fend off wild dogs. You're like, we want to ask about Power Rangers. So we got our first question right here, boss. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Adam. My question is, which did you like better, doing the Power Rangers or doing Flashpoint as a SWAT officer?
Well, there were two different points in my life because they were probably 15 years apart. So Power Rangers was so exciting, and it was my first job as an actress, and I was still very much a kid, had just got to Los Angeles. And that has its own wonderful, beautiful thing. And then for me, Flashpoint was a period in my life of 5 years that I just felt like really grounded me, where I hadn't found that grounding before. So I loved playing the role of Jules, and it taught me a lot.
So you have two totally different senses of satisfaction coming out of both of them.
Yeah, but they were both really strong women, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah. In their own way. One punching, defeating obviously some monster that's always going to come around and get bigger every time. But nonetheless,
Those stringy
powerful.
monsters. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for coming to Salt Lake. We definitely appreciate you being here.
It's a really beautiful city. Like, there's something really special about this city. Just looking around, the architect and all that stuff, it seems very old. What is that beautiful architecture?
Well, we like to build things with a classic style, that's for sure.
It's gorgeous.
Utah's been around since 1847 as a people, as a community. So we've been building like the temple downtown. I mean, that's one of the oldest ones, probably the oldest one, right? But they've got a couple of old buildings run along Main Street that just have kind of that old artisan
And all the
feel to
mountains
it.
surround it.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. I don't know, it's great.
We're glad we're leaving a good impression. What's your question, Les?
So my question is, recently a comic book came out by Boom Studios that reprised the Power Rangers and kind of took a different take on it. Do you think they stayed true to your character, like personality, just everything in general?
Oh, the whole series of the comic book? So I have them all because they send them to me. So I have a stack in my basement.
Oh, wait, is it confession time?
Well, as you see when I answer most of these questions, it's confession time. I haven't read it. But it sounds really cool. It seems great. People say nice things about it. So there's that. I have them. They look really cool. And is it Kyle Higgins? Does he write a lot of them? He's the writer, right? He seems great too. Yeah, I really like that guy. He's a really nice guy.
It's a ringing endorsement. It really is.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of, so there obviously you're coming a lot of things happening with the book and with the series, and they're sending you, I'm sure, a lot of things with the Power Rangers over the years. Do you get stuff from the other series when they talk about Power Rangers this generation? Do they send you anything
No,
from that? as
no,
well
and
as
if
just
they did,
reflective?
I don't even know what that is.
So it's just always reflective on the Mighty Morphin series, everything that you get, things like the comics, books, and whatnot.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's still on the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know nothing about after I left. I'm sorry, guys. So don't ask me those questions. I know I'm terrible. And to be honest, when I was acting, I didn't really like to actually watch the things I was in. So I think I've seen a couple episodes with my daughter. She kind of liked it.
What was her, wait, how old was she at the time when you started
When I showed it to her,
Yeah,
4. I'm gonna try and show her again. She's 9 now.
Okay.
I mean, she was excited at what I have this really cute video where she was like, she was trying to kick and stuff, but she wasn't that impressed by it.
Did she make the connection, this is mom on TV doing this?
Yeah, I think so.
But she'd seen you in work
TV,
before.
I mean, like years ago. Like, not on TV now. Oh, actually, it's on Netflix now.
See?
I don't know what goes on in that little girl's head. I honestly have no idea. I'm really candid with her too, and we talk a lot about stuff. One time she was in the back of the car, and I think she was like, "What was your biggest dream?" And I was like, "Oh, I always want to do movies like Julia Roberts or something." And she's like, "Yeah, you're not really all that, are you?" She's really honest. She didn't mean to be mean either. It's kind of true.
But kids can be intrusive whether you like it or not, I suppose.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, I
she's
think
not
we would-
that impressed.
Now I would have,
Just say that, guys. It's
I would
okay.
I would have to say, I think that we would respectfully disagree.
You know what? It's all relative, right? Oh, thanks. I do love her though.
Now you've been
I
waiting.
wrote a song about her once. Did you? I write music too. I have this song.
Do you?
Yeah, I have a few albums.
Shut
out.
the front door. No kidding.
I do, and I have a song called I'll sing it.
Wow, yeah.
Let me see if I can remember it. It was one of my own like rock songs that I wrote. I wanna be Julia Roberts in the movies. I wanna make you laugh and make you cry and make you wanna be me. And I wanna steal all of her beautiful appeal and wrap it up so no one else can see.
No, that's pretty good. Do you think? Is there more?
Oh, there's one.
There's more. Oh, wait,
That's
there's
true.
more.
Them are the facts. I'm a self-obsessed little brat. That's the deal. Ain't got no couth. I'm trying to remember it. It's a sort of disease from my unrequited youth.
We'll take whatever you want to belt out.
Julia Roberts.
Now, can I?
And I'm gonna die right here in Hollywood's eyes, so everyone in their mother will remember me. And I wanna slap your tears all over my fears like a band-aid covering the lonely, only truth. I wanna be loved, just wanna be loved. I wanna be loved. I'm making these people leave. I wanna be loved.
Maybe the emotions are just getting to it. Maybe they can relate with Julia Roberts.
I wrote that song when I was in my 20s. I don't feel that way anymore at all. Actually, listening to the lyrics as I sing them, it's quite an awful song. But very honest.
It is an honest rendition, that's for sure. Now, can I ask you one thing before we get to our question here with our gal who's been waiting patiently up front? Is since you were singing here for us, it's always been a curiosity of mine for someone who begins their career on television with acting, and then you can sing, obviously, you can direct, and you can write. What other hidden talents are in there that we may or may not know of?
Oh, well, I don't know if I can do anything really well. I just like to do a lot of things.
But it always seems like everybody can sing and dance. I mean, we've seen La La Land, we've seen all that stuff. It's like, who knew that they could do all this stuff? And here you're belting out a song that nobody knew, right? Okay, we had a couple people who knew. But I'm surprised at how talented
Aw,
you
thanks.
can be. So, what else you got, Heidi?
I don't know. Right, hopefully directing, because I'm directing my second feature in about a month, and I better be good. I'm a little nervous, guys.
We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you.
Thank you.
All right, what's your question?
Okay. I was wondering if you could go back, if the Pink Power Ranger position was taken, what other role would you want to play? If they said you could play any role, male or female.
On Power Rangers.
Right.
Okay, so. Yeah, Rita. Yeah, I got to play her once in one episode though, didn't I? Didn't I like get a little spot? That was super fun. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, Rita. Yeah, Rita.
I feel like our question will be about Power Rangers.
I remember you from today, yeah. Maybe not, you never know.
My question is, how was it working with Boke and Skull, the two sidekick comedians who always made a mess of things, and
They
also
did.
our policemen, and then later detectives, and then
Gosh.
chimpanzees?
I think that's after I left the show.
Can you tell me about
I think they were the longest people on the show, weren't they? They're like, are they still on it? No. Okay, I don't know.
They're keeping you in check.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They're great people. I like to see them at the conventions here and there. Jason Narby and Paul. They're great. They were fun. They're a real duo, those two.
Go ahead, boss.
Well, first I just have to say it's morphin' time. This is
Orphan time to you too.
thank you.
And peace be with you.
Live long and prosper. My question is, with just being your first acting job as a Pink Power Ranger, what self-discoveries did you make? What did you learn about yourself
Oh my God,
through that role?
a lot. Do you know that when I moved to Los Angeles, I followed a boy from, I went to school in New York, and I didn't know that Hollywood was in LA.
Where did you think it was?
I had no idea. I was very naive. So I learned a lot when I got Power Rangers. I moved to Los Angeles in January, and I got Power Rangers in September. So it happened super fast, and then that was sort of my training ground. And thank God for David Yost, because he took me under his wing. He's like one of my best friends now. Like the Blue Ranger, he's just a great guy. he's like family. But yeah. I learned a lot. Yeah.
Now, when you went out to Los Angeles on that first trip, and you said you followed a boy.
Literally, we drove cross country. We didn't have a place to stay. We took the 10, like all the way to the beach. And I remember getting out of the car and walking to the sand and looking at the ocean, and we're like, we're here.
All right.
And then we went and got a room at the Starlight Hotel. We stayed there for like a week. And then we went to, where does everybody stay? And we went to Oakwood Apartments and lived there for a little bit, and then we broke up.
Before the Rangers began or after the Rangers began?
Before,
So there was a clean transition.
He went back to Texas.
Wait, so he moved back
Yeah.
and then you stayed?
I did. I didn't know what to do, where to go.
Now, did you have acting on the mind when you moved with him to LA?
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
that
we
was
met
in
in
the game
acting
plan.
school.
Okay, all right, so that was part of the game plan. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So my question is, what was your favorite prop on Power Rangers?
I don't know. I'm just gonna. The first thing that comes to my mind is like the little. What's it called? Which Jason JDF, who should be here tonight,
And my apologies,
sit in
you're
his
dealing with me
hotel
instead.
room. The heck? No,
I
he's
feel
leaving
very
on
sorry.
a plane. He says I don't know how to morph. And I do know how to morph, guys. I just don't particularly love the little hand over the thing. I don't think it looks great.
How did you want to do it? Yeah, how did you want to do it? You want to go like, pull it back. You want to see fingers poking over.
I don't want to see the
you don't want to see the
poking over.
fingers.
But I know that that's the proper way to morph. You guys are all mad at me now, but that's my own feeling.
How many people know how to morph? Can you do it? Give us a little flavor for it. There you go. They got
See,
it.
the finger's sticking up? Like, what is that?
When was that first introduced to you? You're like, okay, we're gonna have you do this.
I don't remember the fingers sticking up. I need to go back and look. That's how we did it? Oh, okay. Because I see Jason and everybody doing that. I'm like, really? Are you sure that's the way we did it? Because it doesn't look right. Right? It wasn't like that. It was like, there was something a little cleaner about the look. Anyway.
What's your question, Owen?
If you could go back, are you glad that you got the role of a Power Ranger, or would you rather be one of the bad guys?
Well, I have to say that I felt like I was very lucky with the storylines that I would get on the show, because a lot of time, I always really got excited and really enjoyed when I got a script where I got to switch places with Billy, or I got to turn into a power punk, or I got to be Rita, or like they would give me a lot of fun stuff to do. So I got to like sometimes turn bad because of a potion or something. I don't remember how I turned bad, but so that was always fun. So mixing it up is good. You don't always want to be bad, right? It's fun to be good too.
Sometimes it's fun to be bad.
And the bad don't even think that they're bad. They think they're good. It's all confusing.
Yeah, we're familiar. I mean, Thanos, exactly. I mean, the whole, you know. All right. Go ahead, boss.
I loved Flashpoint, but I also loved like Felicity, Covert Affairs, things that you had done a little bit
Thank
later.
you.
And I was wondering, how did your experiences on those later shows inform your decisions as a director and a writer?
Oh, thank you for that question. So they are informing me a lot, and I feel like my entire career as an actress has been a training ground for a director. I feel like shooting and being on a set is innate for me now, and it just comes really natural. And the biggest learning curve that I had for writing and directing was the prep, and the post, and the edit and stuff. And so that is which I actually love so much as I get to know it and learn and grow in it. But the shooting and doing television for so long, I'm quite fast-paced as well, which I think is good for a director to be able to move along. It all has helped so much, and I like to pay attention to even just knowing if you're crossing the line, or like where the camera should be. Just being an actress for so long, like you get to know where the camera needs to be. So yeah, it's definitely, that's my training ground. Although I did last year, I spent 6 months at the Canadian Film Center in the director's lab and learned a ton in that. And I find that every project I do, I'm learning so much more. So just really quick, amyjojohnson.com is my website, and if you go there and you can see all my short films I've made, and there's a link to the website for my feature, The Space Between. If you want to check out my work as a director, and all my music's on there as well. I have 3 albums on there.
I have a feeling we've been to the website already, yes?
Hi.
Go ahead.
So after you left the show, Tommy received a Dear John letter from Kimberly.
I didn't write it.
That's actually my question. When did you find out that happened, and how did you feel about that?
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I don't know the answer. Did he read the letter after I left the show?
Yeah, it was
Okay, so I never read that script. I don't even know what happened. What happened? Who did I find? I found someone else? Oh, the guy's name's John?
But you know the term. When
No, I know Dear John,
right.
but I thought he said that I found some guy named John. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. I mean, of all things, we wrote a Dear John letter to a man named John. Didn't spell the same way, but the irony's still there.
J-O-N.
Right.
I don't know. You know, here's what I think. That is not make believe and pretend, but actually the writers transitioning Catherine into being Kat. I think people really liked Kimberly, and the audience needed to really like Catherine, or Kat, and so I think part of helping that transition happen was to have Kim do something that's not so great, so then you can like Kat a little bit better, and I'm sure it was quite helpful, was it?
You're talking to the wrong crowd here for that.
No, that didn't help at all?
You're asking them, were they able to like you
philosophy
less?
on it. Huh?
You're asking them, were they able to like you less because of what was
No,
going on?
did it help you like her more? No.
So you're not going to get that here. Maybe for her.
No, I don't mean more than Kimberly. I meant, did it help you embrace her? No. All right. My philosophy's wrong. I haven't seen the episode anyway. I should probably just watch it.
I think the logic is sound, right? But you're in a much biased crowd. I'm just saying.
Okay, guys. All right.
You know,
all right.
then there's no problem with that.
Thanks. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Okay, first off, with your question about if people are biased, I felt you supported Kat in her transformation into your successor very well, actually.
Oh, good. Because I remember we had an episode. We have 2 episodes together or 1? Anyway, I remember working with her and I thought it was fun. So I guess that went well.
Well, you've got, I'm sure it's not easy when you are putting a show together and there's so many changes as there would be on that particular series. To be able
so many through the years, my lord. And so for me, I'm sure people have always wondered, why did I leave? Because the year before, what was it? Walter, Twee, and Jason left for reasons that were their own reasons. But like I said, I didn't even know Hollywood was in LA. So they wanted union and stuff. I didn't even know what a union was. I was just like, what's happening? I do know all about that now, though, guys. And the fact that there was no residuals. So Twee, Walter, and Jason were actually fighting for something very legit. I just didn't know what that was at the time. But for me, I had done 152 episodes, and I was really itching to get out and audition for other things and move on. And I went to the producer, Shuki Levy, and asked if I could go. And he was very gracious and very generous. And he said, if I finished the season, did the movie, and then 5 episodes, I think, or something like that, in the next series, and then do the movie Suzy Q. I know, right? That he had written with his partner at the time. And then he gave me this beautiful Gibson guitar that I still own. So it was a really lovely exit. It was really nice. It was very nurturing, and yeah, it was great.
That sparked a new question for me. We got the Black Panther, right? Yeah, way to go, bud. Go ahead. I don't want to make you wait. Go ahead.
What was your favorite spin-off?
What was yours?
What was your favorite
No, I said,
spin-off?
what was yours?
What was mine? See, that's tough because I watched your series more than
Spin-off
anything
of
else.
Power Rangers? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Because there's other spin-offs. I don't know, guys. I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, and it's tough for me because I watched your series, and then I've met a lot of the actors in the subsequent series and situations like this. So like I said, this room's a little biased. We all kind of have our love, and you're not going to be able to get the straight answer that you may get in a kind of an
What's your
deal.
favorite? How about that?
Let me check for the answer. Stand by.
He's like me. Which one?
Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel. When was that? What?
After yours.
Was I in that? No.
Can I ask you one thing before we go? Since we have our little guy got his question, what was the first thing you did after Power Rangers that you really were excited about?
For about a year, I didn't do any television or film. Oh no, that's not true. I did one little thing, Without Limits, guys. The name was Iowa's Finest, and I had to do. I don't have to tell you, there's kids in the room, but it was with Billy Crudup, so that was pretty cool. Watch the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about. It was called Pre-LaFontaine, I think, or Prefontaine. Anyway.
Sure. Sounds French.
No, it was about Prefontaine, the runner. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I would say Felicity, to answer that quickly.
Felicity was the big thing you were really excited about.
Yeah, oh my gosh, to work, first of all, J.J. Abrams was the creator of the show, and Matt Reeves, and they had these amazing directors come in, and it was just a really special show to be a part of.
Oh yeah. Well, it had a huge success, clearly, and you're working with some fantastic people.
Amazing directors would come in, and it was great.
Go ahead.
All right. If Power Rangers were ever to do an anime crossover, maybe from the 90s or later on, what would it be, and would you like to be part of it?
If Power Rangers crossed over, did what?
Anime. Like Pokemon?
Did Japanimation?
Oh, sure.
Go on. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, go ahead, boss.
I'd like to say this is more phenomenal. And
well played.
What was your favorite episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ever?
Ever. You know what? I did like. Oh my! I liked Switching Places. I liked Power Plants. Like I said, I liked the ones where I got to do something fun. And be no, I was gonna say something silly, but you guys would like that anyway. No,
now you got us all interested.
I was gonna say you know what I really liked when JDF came on the show, and I really liked the storyline of us having a crush and all that stuff, and when we got to kiss and stuff, it was fun. It was just fun.
Was he a good kisser?
I don't remember, but it was fun.
That's not speaking well for him.
It was 25 years ago.
No, sure, but I remember one of those kisses from a long time ago. I can tell you which ones weren't good and which ones were.
Oh, yeah, but you know.
And mostly the ones that weren't good was me, so I know.
TV kisses are different than real kisses. Though.
That's true.
It's make believe, guys. You didn't know.
Don't ruin it for us. We want to believe that Rita is real.
She's not. Sorry.
Go ahead, Buzz.
How does it feel to be the first celebrity crush for a lot of guys growing up?
It's very flattering, and I try not to think too hard about that.
Is it intimidating or is it?
No, it can get a little gross if I think about it too much. I don't want to think about it. It's nice. It's really flattering, and it surprises me. And now you're all like 30 and really hot. No, I'm kidding.
Times have changed. They definitely do. Go ahead.
Can you do your morph for us?
I'm really bad at it though. Chris, Yeah, I'm not bad. Morphin' time.
I think you lowballed it just a little bit.
Time. Pterodactyl.
There we go. I think this will be our final question. Go ahead, Buzz.
What was your experience with the 2017 Power Rangers movie making your short appearance? Did you enjoy that, or how do you feel about the movie?
Oh, sorry. It wasn't you. Somebody
Oh,
in
sorry.
the thing. Was that you? No, you were talking.
I thought that was you. I thought, well, you know, we're getting down to the last minute.
Somebody has a microphone and they did it. Anyway.
So
they were
the movie, being involved in the movie, so 2017.
Yeah, what was your experience with the short appearance in the movie, and did you enjoy the movie yourself?
Oh, 0. We're done.
Go ahead. I think we're going. It's kind of like soccer where you go into
We
an
have like a
extended
time
play.
thing on here to just
Right.
went to 0.
We're just waiting for the lights to shut off. It really is what it is.
Over. I really enjoyed being a part of that. It was nice. They flew us out to Vancouver. It was nice to be on that massive, expensive set. I mean, see?
See, the sound's coming from over here, and then when you say that, I think you're just kind of going, yeah, I would like to be on the set. Yeah, it was great. I think that's the subtle way of telling us that it's time to kind of wrap up. This is the wrap-up signal,
is
right?
that what it is?
That's what that is. Yeah. And in fact, I'm seeing Chris Provost, the
Nobody
moderator.
told me the
He's
code.
waiting in the wings
Nobody
there.
told me the code. And
That is- I didn't know the code either, so it's
It was
surprising
really
me.
nice to be on that set. It was nice to meet that cast. Dean Israelite, who directed it, was amazing and great. And I thought he did a wonderful job, and I really enjoyed the movie.
We think that you're a wonderful actress and a wonderful director. We're
Oh,
excited about the work that you're doing. Give it up for Amy Jo Johnson, everybody.